So here we are in the first shot, just kind of the stock lighting. She's being keyed by the sun. In our second setup, the sun has rotated around. It's now a backlight, and we're keying with a light here. In shot 3, we're going to wait for it to transition. It's now nighttime. All of the kind of location lights are still on, and we're keying here with a slightly warmer light. In our next version, the lights are off inside the building and also at the gas pump. Those have been turned off by the player, by me, and they've been saved. And then finally, in that same lighting setup where it's very dark, we've added a little bit of orange backlight. Hey, what is up? Today we're going to look at creating multiple lighting setups using the shot list system, and also look at some of the lighting features for time of day and some of the features for lighting that are built into the locations. And by location, there's only one location at this point, but we're going to make more in the future. Let's head over to the gas station and load in. So really quickly, I might time lapse through this. I'm just going to set up a little scene here. I'm going to load up a character and then do some really quick clothing and hair changes for them. I'm going to put her here, and they're having a bit of a conversation. I'm going to switch to this haircut. The facial hair for her doesn't actually work very well yet, and that seems fine for me. And I'm going to change his haircut to just something else, like something short like that. And probably just not like a white shirt. It's a little bright. So we'll do a gray shirt, something like that to start. So here's our two actors hanging out together. And let's pick a camera. We'll choose the dolly because it's the only camera that exists in the game right now. Pretty straightforward there. Gonna ND down, click, go up. And because it's fun, let's go into our anamorphic mode. I will in the future get into kind of the specifics of like what film back we're using and whatnot, but currently it's basically an Alexa 35. But you can't change it, and we don't really have to think about it like that just yet. But eventually we might be changing the camera bodies out and that sort of thing for different sensor sizes. So here is our shot, and it's the stock sun as the map loads it, and we're going to hit enter to create a shot. Now let's hop out of the camera. And let's hit E to go to our time of day tool. I'm going to hit F, and we have two options. We can change the time of day, which we'll save that for later. And we can hit E to go over to sunpan, F to go in. And now if we use Q and E, we're going to start spinning the sun around. This is our only change that's possible for right now. And we've spun the sun to about here. And while not necessarily the most realistic, I'm gonna fill in with a big LED panel. I think we all know which one it looks very similar to, but try not to use brand names here. Sometimes I do let it slip though what light this obviously is inspired by. So we're gonna turn it on, and then I can go to light parameters and kind of stand here and just start turning it up until we have a little bit of fill. These lights are pretty bright. I'm not sure they're directly filling in sunlight, but still like an okay representation. Get back in the camera, and we have a slightly different shot now. We're keying with a light, and she's being backlit. And at the end, we'll review all of these shots. So next, let's... actually, it's not a bad idea to review it now. So if we go to the shot list tool, we can look at our two setups. We're still in default project, so we haven't saved. But the first setup here, the sun is over there, and it's keying our actor right in the face. And our second setup, the sun has rotated, and we're keying them now with a light instead. So to show off some of the features of the location, we're going to change to nighttime, like this. It's going to take a little bit of time for that to fade out. And we'll see that this light is extremely bright now. So I'm going to edit its brightness and start turning it down. Can get a little bit closer here, maybe like this, and bring it down to like a slightly lower level. And then I'm going to actually change its color temperature to be 4300 Kelvin. And the camera is probably at 5600 Kelvin by default, so it's a little warm. So that's changing the light up a little bit. And we'll hop back in the camera. We'll see that with the ND 1.8 at night, that's a little dark. 0.6 is still probably not what you'd encounter at nighttime, but that's how it's tuned at the moment. So here's a new lighting variation. It's now nighttime, and we're keying with a slightly orange key light. We're going to hit enter and save that lighting setup. Let's exit out of here and let's go for a walk. We can turn our headlight on so that we can kind of see in the dark here. And if you explore through the map, there will be these light switches. I'm going to turn off my light. And this light switch right here will turn off these lights. So now it's much darker. Most of the locations, look at this beautiful door that I have not textured yet. Most of the locations I'm going to design so that they come pre-lit in a way that you'd expect. But you can also alter that by turning them off. The fridge lights, they stay on. We can't turn those off yet. But let's go find more light switches. It's now getting dark in here. Very moody. We left the Christmas lights on because I wanted you to check out the anamorphic bokeh. I think it's very fun. Here's the back rooms with not much in it, but they do have lights and they were on, and now it's just really dark. I can turn my headlight back on so I can kind of see what's going on, but we have basically made this scene very dark. And I close the door. We'll see that these are off now. The lights inside are off, but we still have the kind of awning lights and the Christmas lights, and we're still keying her like this. Let's take a peek through the camera and see what this looks like. So much darker. And if we were to kind of, it is a little hard to move this camera while you're in it. But if we are to scoot a little bit to the side here, like this, you can still see the fridge lights in the background. So we have like several layers of lighting happening. Some of them you can affect, some of them you can't. And you can always, of course, add your own lights on top of it. So I'm going to hit enter to save this lighting setup. And we've done a couple variations. I'm going to just do one more for fun. I'm going to turn my headlight on because it's very dark. And we'll just add a bit of a backlight. I think I switched the thumbnails on this. These aren't correct. I think this is the tall one here. But not a huge problem. We'll have it pointing this way. And we'll grab one of these lights here. Snap it on. And let's pick a Fresnel. Actually, I should probably make a video specifically on the Fresnel and the different lighting options. But we'll go with that one for now. And let's scoot over here. Might fast forward through this in the shorter versions of it. I think the key light's still a little bright. Maybe I have to turn that back down. But so with this selected from very far away here, we can start to turn it up. And I'm going to also make it even warmer like that. I think the key light got bright again. Did I end up turning this down? 9%. I guess we'll kind of find out. Let's hop through. Oh, it's okay. So we have our key lights. The background lights are off, and we've added our edge lights. So we're going to take our fourth shot, I think, right now. We'll look in a second. And let's review what we've done. Going to back out here, turn off my headlamp to kind of get a better view. I think if we post up right here, we'll kind of see everything changing around us. So again, in this case, we haven't been changing the blocking of the characters or really the camera movement very much, but you could be changing those things as well. But I just wanted to show how the shot list system can be used to save multiple lighting setups. So here we are in the first shot, just kind of the stock lighting. She's being keyed by the sun. In our second setup, the sun has rotated around. It's now a backlight, and we're keying with a light here. In shot 3, we're going to wait for it to transition. It's now nighttime. All of the kind of location lights are still on, and we're keying here with a slightly warmer light. In our next version, the lights are off inside the building and also at the gas pump. Those have been turned off by the player, by me, and they've been saved. And then finally, in that same lighting setup where it's very dark, we've added a little bit of orange backlight. So that's how you can use CineTracer 2's new shot list system to save multiple lighting setups, to present them to directors, to just iterate on your own. And hopefully this works to combat the lack of undo system, because that's not likely to be coming to the game in the way that you'd expect in an app. But in a game environment, something like this should help you to be able to make lots of different versions while not losing any past work. Do remember, if you're using the very first version, that you actually have to go to save, give this a name like gas station lighting test 1, I don't know, and save it. Now it's saved. You see the name there? Otherwise, it's not saved. There might be ways to make that a little bit clearer in the future, but just a reminder, that is how the system works, and I will check you on the next video.